Hi everyone, it's Jasmine here, and it is the August blogging Q&A. So, hi again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jasmine, and I am a blogger who has been in the industry for about 11 years now. Man, that time feels like it just flew by, honestly. Um, so, what are we doing here today? Right. Well, every month I like to do this where I do a blogging Q&A. So, if you have any questions at all when it comes to blogging, as someone who's been doing it for 11 years, I am your girl, right? You come here, you post your questions in the chat, I see them live, I answer your questions, and everybody's happy, right? So, as you guys come in, go ahead and feel free to post in the chat who you are and where in the world are you. So I'm going to do a little question here. Where are you in the world? Let us know in the chat. Here we go. Boom. So just like that, I can reply to you guys in real time. So if you give me questions, I can answer them in real time for you guys. Now, I'm probably not going to answer them via the chat because I'm here and I'm talking. So I'm going to just talk about the answer. So you'll have that here for you. So I want to talk a little bit about who I am, just so you know more about me and what my expertise lies. And then I want to talk about um, a topic that I wanted to. So I'll tell you guys something that I always do for these Q&As because I feel like there's a lot of downtime in between people coming up with the questions that they have. So I like to come prepared. I come with a topic that is something that I was looking forward to speaking with you guys on anyway, and that usually gets the brain juice flowing for a lot of people as far as what type of questions you would like to ask. So, for all that being said, I am going to do a quick introduction. Like I said, my name is Jasmine. I've been blogging for 11 years. The blog I started 11 years ago is called Miss Millennium Magazine. It's still my blog. It makes me money every single month. It's something that I learn from and grow from every single month. And I've learned a lot with my blog over the course of 11 years. And I like to share that information with everybody else because while there's a lot of free information out there about blogging, I don't think all of it is great. It's not all great free information. I learned this firsthand just taking so many different blogging courses and realizing, like, oh, wow, here is the information that I need to know, and you have to pay for it. So if you've never taken a blogging course before, uh, there may be a lot of information in this that is new for you. So there you have it. I started my blog, like I said, 11 years ago. I've since then started another blog called Blogging Money Life, which is the name of our YouTube channel. And on that channel, I talk about blogging due to the name. But I talk about more than that. We also talk about finances and different ways to make money, like with real estate, the way my husband and I did that in the States, and life, specifically moving from the United States to a foreign country, in this case, Costa Rica. So my husband and I talked a lot about that on our YouTube channel as well as our new blog. So if you haven't already, subscribe. You should subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to our email list, and that way you don't miss out on anything. All right, so let's jump right in, right? I gave a little spoiler um, on some of my social media posts about what I wanted to talk about today. As many of you may know, I love talking about SEO because up until a couple of years ago, I wasn't really putting a whole lot of effort into SEO. And the reason for that is because at the time, and this is 2010, 2011, there were a lot of bloggers saying that there's no point in focusing on SEO. Google changes too much. It's too much competition. They're kicking people out because of a recent change. And it's just not worth your time to focus on Google and SEO. And I stupidly listened to this advice. I did the bare basics that everyone was doing, like downloading, what is it called? Is it the Yoast? No, not Yoast. Yeah, Yoast. I downloaded Yoast. I did the basic SEO things that all bloggers do. And sure enough, Google was doing fine. It never really went away. And then I had to play catch up because I wasn't doing all of that work for SEO when it was easier, when SEO was easier to get into and to rank for. But nonetheless, I still did fairly well for myself getting into SEO. I want to say around 2019-ish is when I finally decided, like, all right, enough. I need to learn and dig into this and make sure that I am an expert on this topic. Well, I took several courses on the topic, and I had a lot of success. I simultaneously took courses on SEO as well as affiliates because I feel like those things work hand in hand with each other. And I figured out a strategy that worked well for me. Now, I used a tool called SEMrush, which many of you have probably heard of. It's one of the top 2 SEO tools that people use. And for a lot of bloggers, they don't use, I know many of them don't use SEMrush because of the cost. I don't know about you. I had gone through several free trials of SEMrush and still decided not to buy it because I didn't want to spend $100+ every month on a tool that I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to bring back money for me. So long story short, yes, I bit the bullet. I spent the money on the tool. The tool made me money times a lot more than a lot more than what I was spending on the tool. The tool was about $110 a month for SEMrush. And in my second month, after doing all my research and spending several months doing that, my second month after publishing an article using SEMrush tools, I made $4,000 in affiliate marketing, all from SEO. So all that to say is those tools are worth it. And I definitely recommend using tools like SEMrush, even though it's a little bit costly. But if you put in that time and effort to put in the work for it, it will make you back a lot of money. So all that to say, one of the biggest things I hear from people is, I don't want to use a tool like SEMrush because it's expensive. I would rather use a tool that can do the same thing and doesn't cost as much, right? So I found out about another tool that I'm super excited about, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I'm gonna get into that. But before I do, I see that we have someone join us. I want to say hi. S Lady 707. I live in New York City. I want to know how to get comfortable and confident being on camera. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I'll tell you the story about the first time I did a live video similar to this one. I did a Facebook Live because at the time Facebook Live was just coming out. I'm like, I have to try it. And I was so nervous. I was sweating bullets behind the camera, like, oh boy, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know how well I'm going to do about it. So I did what I always do when I am super nervous about something. I over-prepared. I made a list of talking points for myself and put those out. I put on a full face of makeup just to add some courage to myself. I put on a really cute outfit, did my hair super cute, and then I practiced my elevator pitch for how I was going to get started. I outlined what to expect for myself. I did all these things so I'm prepared for the video. So if at any time I froze up, I knew what to do next. So that was the first thing I did. And then the second thing, once that camera was on me and I'm nervous, I'm still sweating bullets, I just talk to the camera like I'm talking to a friend, like I am talking to you right now. That is my advice on how to get comfortable and confident behind camera. Every single video I have done, by the end of the video, whether it be recording for something to go up later or something I'm doing live, by the end of that video, I completely forgot I was on camera. I'm just running my mouth off like I'm talking to someone right here in the room. And I'm sure it'll be the same for you. So that's my advice. 1, over prepare before you actually do it. And 2, get behind the camera. I mean, you can't get confident being on camera unless you're on camera, right? You got to get that practice in. So that's a really, really good question. Thanks for asking it. Now, you guys, if you have any more questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. I'm going to answer them as they come in. And while those are coming in, I want to tell you guys about a really cool tool I discovered, and I'm going to start talking about that now. Now, I'm going to stop, and you can interrupt me as much as you want with more questions. It could be about the tool or about SEO, or it could be about anything else in particular. So go ahead and shoot those my way. Okay, so you guys want to know what tool I've been trying out that is awesome. It does a lot of the same things that SEMrush does, at least when it comes to writing content, doing keyword research, and making sure that you're ranking on Google. So it does all of those things. And it was built for bloggers in mind. It was actually built by a blogger. And it is a fraction of the cost of what it costs for SEMrush. All right, you guys ready to hear what it is? And the name of the tool is Rank IQ. Okay, so Rank IQ, you guys, I heard about it. It sounded great to me, and I was ready to go. Another piece of feedback that I get from people who don't want to move forward with SEMrush is that they think that it's too complicated of a tool, right? There's so many different elements to it that it's easy to get lost in the sauce a little bit. And one thing that I love about Rank IQ is that it is a simple tool. I mean, very, very simple, to the point where you don't really have to worry about, well, what do I do next? How does it work? You can go through this entire website for Rank IQ in like, I don't know, 30 minutes and know what everything is. Unlike SEMrush, like I feel like it takes about a week for you to just go through all the tools and know what they all do and why they do and just everything. So not to hate on SEMrush, because like I said, I love it. It's made me a lot of money personally. But it can be complicated if you're still new to just SEO in general and knowing what to do and so on and so forth. So that's what I will say when it comes to this tool that I like. I'm going to switch gears here and just go ahead and share my screen with you guys so you can see what I'm looking at for Rank IQ. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Give me 1 second while I share my screen. Oh, give me 1 second. Looks like I have to do something with Google to share my screen. So sorry about that, you guys. Oh yeah. All right. Okay, give me 1 second. I may go out, but I'll come right back. Give me 1 minute. Hi guys. All right, sorry about that. I just talked to you, S Lady, about talking points and over preparing. Look at me. I am not prepared and had to restart my computer pretty much. So sorry about that. But the good news is I'm back. I should be able to share my screen now, and there shouldn't be any other interruptions. So like I was saying, I want to share my screen with y'all so I can show you the Rank IQ tool and just give you a little demo of what it has been like for me. and how it can possibly help you. And also, I think it solves a lot of problems that people have when it comes to using SEMrush, and it does a lot of the same things. So let me share my screen. Oh, before I do that, I heard back from S Lady 707. So I like the talking points. Thank you. Nice. Good. Yeah, the talking points go far. And then eventually you're going to get to a point where you're like, oh, I know what to say. I'm just going to say what I like to say all the time. But yeah, that's going to be very helpful. Awesome. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. There we go. Oh, okay. So here is the tool Rank IQ. So when you are on this platform, it's super simple. Like I mentioned, it has a little area here. It has a tutorial, which he definitely says watch before doing anything. And I recommend the same thing, watch it before you do anything. And then they have these different pages here. And that's essentially the website. It's super, super simple. And I'm going to walk you guys through how this works. Just a brief overview, not a 30-minute tutorial like he says here, but I think it's a super, super cool tool. Before I jump into this, I will say they do have an affiliate program. I'm going to share the link to that for you guys here. This is my affiliate link. So if you want to follow along with me, you can definitely do that. And yeah, sign up and give it a try if you like. All right, so Rank IQ, here's what they do. He is a blogger. He does a ton of research, and he puts them in his keyword research library, right? Now, why is keyword research important? It's important because you want to pick a keyword that is going to get a lot of traffic for you, but also is not so competitive that you don't rank anywhere. So he finds the perfect keywords based on if it's going to rank and if it has good traffic. Now, there's a lot of ways you can look at the competition score and all these other things, but the way he does it is he goes time to rank. It's going to be average, very fast, fast, or ultra fast. I think ultra fast is the fastest it can get there. And he explains in the tutorial what each of these things mean: average, very fast. I think it's difference between a week to a couple of months, but it's awesome. So very simple way to look here. If you want to sort it by time to rank, you can do that. So these are all the keywords that I can rank for ultra fast or the fastest. And yeah, you just go from there. Now, something else that's cool about this is his keyword library, right? And there are a ton of keywords, 8,234 pages worth. So it's easy to think like, I'm going to get overwhelmed. How am I going to go through this many pages of freaking keywords, right? So what he has done is he has broken it down by blog niches. So all you have to do is scroll through this, find your blog niche, and then you go through those keywords there. So I blog about blogging. I choose the blogging niche. And now all I see are the blogging niche keywords. And then I can sort this by time to rank if I want to go, okay, I only want the ultra fast ones. Whoops. So I'm going to have those at the top and just keep going through these. So yeah, that's what I can do. And I can go through 8 pages for blogging keywords. Now, if there is a niche, if you notice your niche isn't on here, or maybe it's worded a certain way, you're not sure exactly how that fits, or if we're even talking about it. For example, I'm talking about SEO right now. I can look up SEO keywords to see for people who want to know more about SEO, what are they searching for? So here's a list of some of those keywords. Now, once you decide on a keyword that you want, you can add it to your keyword library. So I have done this. He says go through all the keywords first and add them to your keyword library, which I've done this for some keywords. And I only have 6 pages of them, and there's plenty that I've already run reports for. But what I want to do is show you guys an example of what it looks like to run a report on a keyword. So I have an article that is doing not so great. And I saw that there was a keyword for it here. So that keyword is best blogging tools, right? I already have an article written about this, but I wanted to improve. So I ran a report for best blogging tools, right? Once you run the report, he gives you a suggested content grade, how many words that article needs to have, and how many sources he analyzed, meaning how many other blog posts did he look at to come up with the report for this specific keyword. And here are the topics that Google wants me to cover. So here are other keywords that Google says I should have in this article in order to rank for it. And you don't have to worry about writing these down, although you can click to see all of them. And I think it downloads it onto your computer. And then he has title analysis as far as like what a good title looks like. Here are the top ones he found for inspiration. And then he has competition analysis. So he says, okay, here are the best articles about this specific topic. You got to do better than these three. So it gives you some articles that you can look at and research and figure out how do I make it better than these, right? So then he has a second tab here for content optimizer. And here you have a grade and words. And up here, it gives you a grade, which usually starts at like an F, and then words starts at a 0. And what I did was I copied in my old article here and then filled in some keywords that I wanted to include based on these on the right side here. Now, here are all the keywords they say that I should include in this article. And the cool thing about this tool is the keywords are ranked from most important keywords to include to the least important ones. So the more keywords you have at the top of this list, the better it is, right? So I've already gone through, obviously, and I wrote this article. I came up with a good title based on all that information that was included. I wrote the article here. Pretty much I added my article and then added some more to it. And so I can reach this word count and the grade. And then I took this article and then I put it on my website. So this article now exists on Blogging Money Life. It was published just this month. And this is one of the first articles we published using Rank IQ. So it hasn't been up for a full month yet. It'll be a month on Friday that this article has been up. And for many of you, you may already know this, that when it comes to SEO, it's not something that happens overnight, right? It takes some time. So what I wanted to do is show you guys, so you see the article, have my images and all my usual things in here. I wanted to show you what happened with this article for Rank IQ. So you see, this is my Google Search Console platform, and I've already pulled it up to the Blogging Money Life Best Tools for Bloggers article that we have here, right? And I wanted you to show you what our organic traffic looks like. Like we're getting less than 50 impressions, barely any clicks, like not a whole lot of anything happening with this article. Some stuff, but not really. And then I told you this article was published on August 2nd. This is what happened with it. We're getting way more impressions and getting clicks almost on a daily basis now. So it's only been 1 month because, like I said, SEO is something that's fairly slow moving as far as like really growing traffic to your site. But we started getting more impressions to this article on day 1, like significantly more, because we have a good keyword where he did all the research for it already. And it's already generated 22 clicks for us, well, over the last 3 months. But you can see like a lot of that came after we changed that keyword. So we should see more traction here. This is a good example of what Rank IQ can do for you for your website. Now, you're probably wondering, all right, that sounds awesome, but how much does it cost? You mentioned that it's a fraction of the cost that it is for SEMrush, and that is true. So I went ahead and went to the billing page of this because for some reason I just can't get to the pricing page. So I had the standard plan initially, and the standard plan includes 16 reports. And reports meaning those reports that I showed you guys, or I ran the report on these articles. So I'll show you, these are the archived ones that I've already done. When you run a report on a keyword, it costs you a report. one of your reports for the month. And it resets on the 1st. So today's the 31st of August. So of course I used all my reports already so that it resets tomorrow for me. So once you run this, Now, depending on how many articles you do in a month, like for us, we publish 2 articles a week. So pretty much 8 articles a week. So I felt like the best plan for me was the 8 reports per month, which is only $29. Now, just to remind you guys, the article that the SEM Rush tool that I used before, it costs $110 a month. If you're telling me that you can get fast results like this in less than a month and only spend $30 on this tool, that sounds awesome to me. Like, we keep up with this. And this is an article that I optimized. I can only imagine what it will look like for an article that is brand new, right? So it's a pretty affordable tool, and I'm not even using the lowest tiered pricing. So if I wanted to do a different one, like I said, this one is $29 per month for 8 reports. They have one that's for $49 a month, which is a little bit higher. And that's for the 16 reports, $36.80. Oh, maybe I'm doing the lowest plan. I thought there was one plan right below mine where I think you get 4 per month and it's lower price than $30 a month. But like I said, it just depends on how many blog posts you do a month. And that's how many reports you should go with for this. Now, as many of you know, if you want your blog to grow faster, you have to publish more content. So whatever number of blog posts that you think you can publish in a month, I would go with the plan that matches that. But it's super affordable and it's really easy to figure out. Now, and that's it. That's it in a nutshell. You can go through the keyword library, run a report, get all this information to write your article, and then have that little tool, like I showed you guys, where you can optimize it and get to the green, right? So that you have enough words and A++ for your content. And then put it out there and just wait for Google to send traffic to you. So really, really easy. I'll go through what the rest of the stuff is here. The report section, I showed you reports that I've run already, which is on the homepage. The keyword library is the one that he puts together. I showed you could choose your blog niche to pick out keywords that work for you. My keyword library, this is where you collect your own keywords that you think may be good ones to use. Check rankings. Now this is pretty cool because what Check Rankings does is it links to your Google Search Console platform. If you don't have Google Search Console, I highly recommend that you get it. It's free for Google and you can link it to your website. Super easy to do it if you already have Google Analytics. And it just shows, it pretty much just shows you how much organic traffic you're getting to your site based on just Google traffic. And what's cool about it too is if there are any changes on Google, like for example, Core Web Vitals is a new thing that happened with Google last year. They will give you some details like, hey, here's what you need to know about Core Web Vitals so that you can improve your website. So it's just pretty much like your direct connection with Google and it costs you absolutely nothing. All right. So what Rank IQ does is it links to your Google Search Console and then it'll tell you which keywords are driving the most traffic to your blog. And then it'll also tell you where you rank. So as far as, are you the first one? Are you number 1 for this keyword or number 2? And it also tells you what your last rank was 28 days ago. So have you increased? Have you gotten a better rank or a lower rank for a particular keyword? Or have you stayed the same? So that's cool. It also gives you an organic traffic summary. Looks like we've had a little boost since we started using Rank IQ overall. Nothing too crazy because like I said, SEO takes time and we've only been doing this for the last month. But still, we're starting to see more traction there. We can also see by device and by country how much traffic we're getting. Just a lot of information that you can get. Now, you can get all this on Google Search Console, but what's nice is that Rank IQ just puts this in a nice nice package for you to know what actions to take on your website. So that's it. And then they have the section about their affiliate program, which I told you guys about. If I'm going here, this is the same thing that we can look at on this side, pretty much the same things on the top. And then you have pretty much the same thing on the right side. I don't know why they have so many menus, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, that's Rank IQ. I like it so far. I'm still in the testing phase, but just like I said, based off that first article that we have that seems to be doing fairly well, I like it. And if you want to be able to make some more money and drive more traffic to your website organically, I highly recommend Rank IQ. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oops, here we go. For a second so I can see what you guys are all doing here. Again, I share the link with my affiliate link for Rank IQ. I do get paid if you guys decide to click through my link and buy it. They have a great affiliate program. If you sign up for Rank IQ, you can also sign up for the affiliate program. I think they pay $100 per person that signs up, which I think that's a great affiliate program, especially if it's one you're using and is working well for you. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And like I said, I'm still in testing. I'll let you guys know how it continues to work out for me, but so far so good. All right, so I have talked for a very long time, and I want to hear from you guys. What questions do you have for me? It can be about Rank IQ. It can be about SEMrush. It can be about just blogging in general. You let me know what's on your mind when it comes to blogging. And then the other thing I like to know, for those of you who are watching, because I see you guys are hanging out on there, let me know where you are in the world, and tell me about your blogs. I want to know where you are with your blog. What's your blog about? Do you have a blog too? That's okay if you don't, because I know for a lot of people, they like to do their research before they get started with blogging. While waiting for those questions to come in, I want to say a few tips that I have when it comes to SEO in general, because I know I talked about Rank IQ and I used some jargon there. So I want to make sure that it's clear what the important things are when it comes to SEO and going with a tool, because you don't want to buy a tool for SEO and you're like, I don't even know the SEO basics. Like, what are you talking about? All right. So I'll break it down for you. The first thing, keyword research. Everybody would tell me keyword research is so important. It's the most important part of writing an article. So, and it's something you do before you write the article, because you don't want to waste your time writing an article about something that no one is interested in, right? That no one is going to find on Google. So you want to do keyword research first. Now, what I typically do when I'm not using a tool like Rank IQ, I use another tool called Keywords Everywhere. And it's a pretty simple tool. What it does is it's a Chrome extension that when you search on Google for certain words, it gives you the rank for how competitive it is and how much traffic it's getting on a monthly basis. So I use Keywords Everywhere. It's super cheap. You're paying for every search, and I think it's like $10 for like 100,000 searches or something like that, 100,000 keywords. So it goes far. So super cheap. You find keywords. I usually look for one that has a competition score of less than 20 and has traffic that's more than 70. So those are usually my numbers I go with. You want to find something in between there. And of course, it should be a keyword related to your niche. So once you do your keyword research, you find your keyword that works. The next step is figuring out what else. You found one keyword, but where the magic lies in SEO is finding all of the keywords that will help your article grow, because you want to find any articles that are trying to rank for that exact keyword, because chances are if an article is ranking for that one keyword, they're ranking for other ones too. So now you have to find those other keywords. What I use is a tool called, I use SEMrush for that. And SEMrush has a WordPress plugin that allows you to put that keyword in, say, SEMrush, I want to rank for this particular keyword. And then they say, great, if you want to rank for that keyword, here's a list of all the other keywords that you also must put in this article. And it does the same thing I just showed you that Rank IQ does. It will eliminate the keywords that are being added to your article as you write it within WordPress. So I love that feature of SEMrush. Like, I know it has so many other features and so many other tools that you can use, but I honestly use SEMrush specifically for that plugin because it's awesome. All right. So that's the keyword research part of this. Now, of course, you have to write the article. And that means including those keywords that you just found, that keyword you researched, as well as all the other semantic keywords that SEMrush said you need to include. But you also want to make sure that your keywords are in the right places, right? So that keyword that you found, that important one, it should be in your title. It should be in your slug or your URL that shows up on your blog. It should also be probably in one of your subheaders, your H2 headers. So when you write a blog post, you know how you read it and you have your introduction paragraph, and then there's a bolded subheader, and then there's another paragraph, and then another bolded subheader, another paragraph. Well, Google looks at those things, and they're looking at it from an SEO perspective. And if you have that keyword, it's good to include it in one of your H2 headers, your bolded subheaders in this case. So that's another place you want to make sure to include it. You want to avoid keyword stuffing, right? So that main keyword, don't put it in too many times. And I do like this about SEMrush. It will tell you if they think you're keyword stuffing, like you use this word too many times, use a synonym or something else, because this isn't going to work. You're going to get flagged by Google. What else? You want to make sure that it's at least 1,000 words. This is something I learned years ago now, and we just kind of stuck with it because there's so many short articles out there with Google, and they want to make sure that it's a good piece of content. So at least 1,000 words. A couple of other tips: figure out what other tools there are. Not tools, but like, I guess if you're using Gutenberg, there's a lot of little widgets you can put in your article that are also good for SEO. So for example, embedding a video that's ranking for a similar keyword to the keyword you're trying to rank for. That's a good tip to make sure that you're getting more traffic. Not only does it help because now anyone who goes to that video, Google is going to send them to your article, because why not go to this good article in the video, right? But also, because there's a video on your blog post, people are going to spend more time there. And that is definitely something Google looks at when it comes to a good article, and if people are going to spend time on your site. So the video is good. Add an FAQ section to the bottom. There's a really cool Gutenberg widget for this, but you can just do that yourself. Say FAQ section. Question 1, here's the answer to it. Question 2, here's the answer to this. So that's something that you can do. There's so many little tidbits like that that you can find when it comes to writing good SEO content. A good resource that I love when it comes to finding tips on SEO is a blog called Backlinko. I mean, all he does is talk about SEO. I think his name's Brian Dean. He's great. He has a good YouTube channel too. I'll put a link to Backlinko here so you can check it out. But if you're looking for more SEO tips, that's where I will go. We have a question here from Brian. Brian says, is Yoast accurate? Brian, that's a great question, because literally every blogger has Yoast, right? And that's what I did. I said, those are the basics. Like, you should have Yoast on your website. And I agree, you should have Yoast. Is it accurate? Yes, I would say so. It's general though. And the problem with Yoast, and I'll speak frankly here, is that it doesn't tell you what keyword you should put in. You have to come up with your own keyword. It doesn't give you any tips on what other keywords should be included on your blog. But it does look at other things, right? So it's checking to see if your paragraphs are too long and telling you to shorten them, because that does affect your traffic and how many people are coming from mobile. Because if you've ever been on a mobile phone and you see a wall of text and a paragraph that doesn't seem that long on desktop, it's a turn off. It makes you want to go to another article because it's just overwhelming. So Yoast has its place, right, as far as like things that it does. And We do still make sure to have a good Yoast score. Like you want to make sure you get that little green circle with Yoast before we publish an article. So yes, it's accurate. It doesn't do what SEMrush or a tool like RankIQ does. So I think it's good to have on top of something else. So good question. Yes, it is definitely accurate. Okay. So I shared with you guys my tips on what I like to do for SEO. And then I've also talked about RankIQ. I'm going to share my affiliate link again, just so you guys can see it. It is in the chat if you want to check it out yourself. They don't have like a trial or anything, but if you wanted to do the smaller plan for RankIQ, that is possible. You just have to sign up. Like I said, it's only $29 a month. And I'm pretty sure I thought there was another RankIQ plan, but just give me a second. I want to check. I'm gonna log out of it so I can see if I can get to their homepage. Oh, rankiq.com maybe. There we go. I was going to the wrong place. So I'm gonna look at, so it gets started for $49. I did think that there was a lower price option, but I guess not. I think that is it in regard to the lowest price. The lowest price is $29, but it's great. It's a great tool, and it's still, I think $29 is a lot more affordable than spending $100 on SEMrush. Not to bash SEMrush. Like right now, I'm currently using both. I'm using RankIQ and I'm using SEMrush. So I'm probably going to make a decision here in the next couple of months to get rid of one of those, because I don't think I need exactly both of them. I mean, I can start using SEMrush for other things because there's so many things you can do with SEMrush. Like you can do a site audit on your website. You can analyze content to see how it's performing and if it can be improved, which those are things you can't do right now with RankIQ. It's purely for writing content. And if you're using SEMrush purely to write content, then this can be a good money saver for you. So yeah, that's my 2 cents there. All right. What questions do you guys have for me? Any other ones? And it doesn't have to be related to SEO or SEMrush or RankIQ, like I mentioned. It can be about anything. I'll give y'all a couple of minutes to post your questions here. I feel like I should be playing like the Jeopardy music or something while I'm waiting for the questions. Here we go. Another question from Brian. And again, guys, I'm going over this question. If you have more questions for me, go ahead and post them in the chat and I can get them answered for you. Brian asks, what about using AI such as Jasper? Oh, I'm so glad you asked this, Brian, because everybody's talking about this, right? AI, about how awesome it is to have AI write your article for you. Well, I've used Jasper and I thought like, oh, wow. I wonder if I should be afraid. Is Jasper going to kick me off my own blog and become sentient? And now I don't have a job anymore because Jasper is taking over the world. I used Jasper last year, right? I don't use it anymore. And Jasper is it was a lot of work. I feel like it can be great as far as writing content. Here, I'll explain for those of you who have never heard of this. Jasper is an AI tool that writes blog posts for you. Right now, you have to give it prompts. You have to tell them, hey, I want this article to be about this. Here are some of the main key points I want to be in this article, and I go ahead and write. And what this tool does is it pretty much scans the internet for similar topics that are using the same keywords or something along those lines to write the article for you. And it's still AI, so it is not always accurate. You can't just hit a button and then your article is written. You have to read through every single sentence, every single paragraph, everything it comes up with. and see if it actually makes sense in the end. So you're not writing a bunch of content, but you're reviewing and reviewing and reviewing. And then if you don't like it, you get rid of that. And then you say, hey, write it again. And it does come with other topics, but you have to completely change the way you write content, and it has to be around editing. Now you're constantly editing, and you're doing it with something that doesn't know common sense on a lot of things. It's not a writer. Now, apparently, the longer you use Jasper, the smarter it gets. It gets to learn your blog, and it gets to learn more about your style of writing. So if you have content that you've written before, it's good to like kind of plug that content in. Like if you have an intro paragraph that you want to put in, and then an outline, and maybe a couple of sentences for each one, I think that'll probably be better. And then they also they call them recipes, where they say, is this going to be an affiliate article, or is this going to be an informative article? If so, we have a recipe on how to make it so that it guides the AI into the right direction. I personally didn't care for it. I tried it for a year. I paid for the tool for a year, and it was too different for me. I think maybe in the future, once the tool gets a little bit smarter, it's something that I can look at again, but I still feel like it's too early to say. But good question. I like that you're looking towards the future when it comes to blogging and what's coming down the pipeline. What else y'all got for me? Brian, you have some great questions, so keep them coming if you have more. So I want to go through the links I've shared with you guys so far. I shared the link for Rank IQ if you want to give it a go. So that's there. I shared the link for Keywords Everywhere. This is my keyword research tool I was using before Rank IQ. So if you want to do some research on your own before you write an article, it's super affordable. You spend $10 and get like 100,000 searches or something like that. And then I also shared a link to one of my favorite blogs about SEO, Backlinko. So if you're looking for more tips and tricks on how to rank higher organically for your blog, Backlinko is a good one to go to. All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. Like, this has been awesome. I hope that y'all got something from it. I do this every single month. I do a blogging Q&A, so you can see me the last Wednesday of September as well, and I will be doing another blog Q&A. I already have it up on my YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and hit the button to notify you once I'm live, so that you don't miss it. And I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see y'all next time. Bye.